Welcome from what feels like the Sahara Desert, but is really a hot day in July here at the Marineland parking lot. Alright, so we're going to go into Marineland for the first time this year. Obviously a controversial park that we do still cover for reasons of which we want to see the future of the park in a theme park fashion. So there doesn't need to state the obvious about how we feel about captivity and that. It's been stated in many other videos previously. Today, however, it's exciting because we have a new attraction to try out, which is Star Voyager, finally open in 2022. Opened a few weeks prior to this. It is a Tuesday here in July. It is crazy hot. I wish that Marineland over the years had invested in a water ride of some fashion, other than, say, the large splash pad that they have for kids here. A log flume would have not been out of place here. A giant wave, something like that. Who knows? That might be something they might look forward to investing in the future. Very curious future as well with this park, as it's not really 100% what's going on with it. Has it been sold? Is a change of ownership coming? What is the future as far as development is concerned? What about all this land around Marineland? And obviously the controversy attached to its current offering of form of entertainment. Anyhow, we're not going to be focusing on that today. We're going to get on some rides, get some on-ride POVs, hopefully get on a Dragon Mountain, which I'm definitely looking forward to getting on for the first time in 3 years, and I've never really fully covered properly for the channel, which I plan to do today. It's going to be a sweaty one, as it usually always seems to be here whenever we come to visit Marineland.
different species of killer whales, resident, transient, and offshore.
Little bit of a different start to the day here, as since I've done this place a few times in the past, I figured I'd check out something that I haven't done before, which is the aquarium right behind me, which you just saw, and actually is quite impressive, still of its era, as it definitely feels like a 70s type of building. But yeah, very impressive display, very educational as it's mandated, as we all know. But yeah, a nice little exhibit in there, and very respectful, I would say. So yeah, if you are coming into the park, you just got to remember, as the main entrance right behind me, it's just to the right before you actually go into the main park, which we're about to do now. All right, let's carry on our Marineland Summer 2022 adventure. This is scarier than that.
Yeah.
Boy!
Oh.
The restraint is loose.
Oh.
Hands in the air. Woo!
Boy!
Whoa!
Good.
Hey!
Done?
I think so. We're going back to where we originally started. All done. Bumblebee behind me is closed. This is one of the only kids rides that I did the last time that I was actually in this park with functioning rides. It's not working, but I just finished all 5 other rides that are actually available today. Despite Viking Adventures saying it's not open, it actually was open. As is the boat carousel, which you just got a POV of. So got some nice POVs of every attraction here. It's a very relaxed environment here today, despite it being a bit busy. It's a Tuesday, as mentioned, and despite what people say, Marineland has a bit of business going on today. So, and it's also refreshing to see that most of the attractions are open, which is awesome. So it makes it exciting to see what's going on at the other side of the park as far as the adult rides are concerned. But from the posting at the front, most of them should be open. Got to do Ladybug Coaster once a year, which we just banged out there a second ago. A nice solid ride in the front. I think I honestly wait for the front every time on that ride, so I don't think I've really actually done it in the back. I believe I did it a couple years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and it was pretty snappy in the back. A decent ride, really good coaster for anybody that's doing their first coaster, period, I would say. You have to love the majesty of the Tivoli wheel. It's such a simple design, but I have to admit, I'm very impressed with it whenever you see it. There's not much else in the children's area now that I think about it as far as attractions are concerned. So if, and only if, based on those rumors, this park might be developing in a different way, or might still have a theme park future to it. Whew, it's so sweaty today. Then I could see a lot of improvement that could occur back there in the children's zone. But that's for another day, another era perhaps in this park. For now, we're gonna do this long journey towards the adult rides as we take these endless paths that Marineland have from one section to the other.
I don't think you knew about it. That's what the kids.
I love the on-ride audio. On-ride audio is amazing. So we're at the family rides, or adult rides section actually, of the park, and I just did Ocean Odyssey behind me here. I'm gonna have to say, that's like my favorite onboard audio of any ride I've ever experienced almost. It's just so cool and jazzy and French, and it's working. So one thing I'm noticing about a lot of the rides here is that there definitely has been some maintenance going on and actually getting them back up to somewhat really the best functionality that they can run at currently, with the exception of the ride behind me, because unfortunately even the signage is now actually gone. So I forget what that tidal wave was actually called, if it in fact was called tidal wave, but it's not on the park map anymore, which to me says it's out of commission. And it's unfortunate because, again, I've said it many times about this park, when it comes to the actual rides themselves, as far as the show buildings and everything is concerned, they really are some of the best in the industry after 40 years of construction. Now I do know that this here Flying Dragon has been open previously this season. It is one of my favorite rides in the park, but regretfully it shan't be open today. It looks like it's the same for Wave Swinger actually here too. As yeah, there's either nobody on the ride right now, or it's also closed. I think they might actually have some staggered opening times going on for some of these adult rides, so I may loop back here just in case that is the case. I do see a discarded water bottle that doesn't seem too old over there by Wave Swinger, so there's a chance it might be opening later on. I did do that last time I was here. It is a fairly decent chair swing because, yeah, it has a good amount of speed to it, and I believe once in a while it goes backwards. So hopefully we'll get you a POV on that today. Another ride that hasn't been open for quite some time, as I'm in the shade because it's so swelteringly hot. But right behind me in the darkness is the Husk Condor Skyhawk. This ride has not been functioning for quite some time. However, it is still on the park map. So, because of that, one can presume that it has a future here. And seeing as Huss is still a company that is very much in the business, it may just be a matter of getting the parts for this particular ride. I will say, however, the last time that I rode this ride, it was a very unnerving experience, to say the least. And those of you that know, it does also feature a large bathroom right behind the ride building, or at least that portion of the ride building that you see with the peaked roof is in fact the washroom. It certainly looks like it has had people here somewhat recently. off of Candu's Twister behind me here, and yeah, it's just a solid little ride. Teacups. Definitely enjoyed the fact that your restraints aren't checked. You just go in and then it goes. So high output ride here from Marineland. Not that it's all that dangerous anyway, but yeah, it's probably the best looking ride in the flat offering here as far as like its theming, its isolated building just in this weird little section in what was going to be sort of the gateway to the bird sanctuary, but now it's just a fish pond with a billion seagulls right behind me. All right, we're going into some infamous areas here, but mainly the bear enclosure, which we're not going to look at today. But right beside the bear enclosure is a ride that's been out of commission for quite the many years and had been said was coming back into commission, and surprisingly today it is back, and that is Magic, which I haven't been on in more than 20 years. So here we go. How is this Huss Magic running in 2022 now that it's finally back up and running here at Marineland? Let's find out. For it, baby. This is the cycle of cycles. Left the big four to the end of the day. I apologize if the wind is picking up. We've done so well to this point, but I had to take a moment to describe that experience that was Magic. and how different that was, say, since the first time that I had ever ridden it way back in the early 2000s. What a ride! What a cycle! Nearly 3 minutes, it just kept going. The speed, I'm really sure that's as fast as that particular machine has ever been able to operate. So it looks like all of that work and energy that was put in to getting this ride back up and running was worth it, because it was substantially a better ride than what I ever remember it being. Tons of force, it just kept going, really disorientating. Even just like its moderate height and raising up and down towards the second half of that ride cycle, which you definitely, well, you got to see there. Impressive, quite an experience. Is Magic one of the best flat rides in Canada? It might be. You're gonna have to get down here and ride it to find out. But I certainly, definitely rate it myself. Save the big four, like I said, to the end here. So behind me we have Star Voyager, as you can't see me anymore, and Dragon Mountain, and Sky Screamer. The big three left to cover here. So let's get over to that side of the park and find out all about it. Okay, it's been a couple of, I'd say about an hour later, as I kind of prioritized getting in all those POVs before the camera ran out of juice. And also me, because, yeah, it's a big day here at Marineland when all the attractions are actually available. Been here about 3 hours, and I only have one left to do, which is Sky Screamer. Gonna go up the hill, which is the biggest challenge really here at Marineland. Maybe I'll get a beer beforehand. Besides the point, got to give a review of Dragon Mountain, Star Voyager. My days. Not great. First up behind me, Star Voyager, which I definitely took advantage of. There's nobody here riding it right now. The reason why it's not even running is because there's nobody in line. My apologies for the wind as I try to find a nice little spot out of it, but it just doesn't seem to ever work in our favor here. Fantastic ride. Definitely a long cycle on it as well. Found it kind of quite terrifying compared to the one that I rode in Korea. And it's also a lot larger than the one that I rode in Korea at Gwangju World. But very impressive, perfect addition, quite unique and surprising that this is the first of its kind in Canada, because this is probably one of the best flat rides in Canada now. Having sat here for the better part of 3 years without being really operated, it sounded a bit rickety going through its cycle, but what a crazy long cycle at that. If you don't like heights, you don't like suspense, and you don't like dangling mid-air with bolts sort of like going next to you, this isn't your ride. Fantastic ride. Definitely was worth the wait. In fact, it doesn't look like it's running anymore, which is unfortunate because, yeah, definitely the platform is definitely sort of like not flush with the ride, so they've shut it down momentarily. And no sooner did I say that than the platform rises and people are going on it. So I'm going to come back and do another ride on it later on today, but I'm going to go back in the center of the park, get myself a little snack, then come back and do a full walkthrough before I finish up my day here, and also get on Skyscraper as well. I'm trying to find a spot with no wind so I can give you a review of Dragon Mountain too. As for Dragon Mountain, fantastic ride. Really just a legendary Canadian coaster that every enthusiast has to get on, or at least tick off their list at some point in their life. I didn't find it that rough, to be honest with you. A lot of people talk about how janky this coaster is, but I've definitely been on aerodynamics that were way more jankier than that today. Anaconda. And that ride is a couple years older than this one, so yeah, it's a fantastic ride. Nothing really that unique about it, as you know, it being the age that it is, nearly 40 years old now. The elements aren't quite unique outside of that bow tie, which it takes at a good speed. I found it a little bit faster than previous rides, but yeah, I found the train pretty well put together and not too rough. I did front seat, I did back seat. There's no way here, it's a walk-on. There is only one train in service, as it has only been running with for some time, although you can see the other train obviously in the station, and it looks like it's actually closer to coming back into operation than in previous years where there wasn't any restraints attached to it at all, whereas this year there is. Yeah, great solid ride. Nothing really to say much about it other than its usual self, other than we're happy to have it back. Thank God Dragon Mountain still exists. We're really blessed to have this coaster still running, as it's definitely one of those ones that's under threat for aerodynamics, as there's not that many left out there now. So long may it continue operating, and long may Marineland keep it running well like it is today. One thing that I didn't cover earlier that I should have is the food, because I did have food here earlier, and I had a beer, a water, and a slice of pizza. 20 bucks Canadian all in with tax, which all things considered is not that bad of a price, to be honest with you, especially for three things, where most of the parks you pay probably 20 bucks just for two. Yeah, the food offering here is pretty standard fare: burgers, chicken fingers, very affordable. You do get beer available in this restaurant. There is another restaurant at the aquarium on the other side of this, say, main plaza area. Not really sure why they have two big restaurants right here and not one deeper into the theme park. Maybe that's an area for improvement. But overall, very standard fare. Massive facility here, however, the Hungry Bear restaurant. So very good for functions, great gazebo and everything like that. So, while not the prettiest and most modern of offerings, I will say it is pretty decent. Almost done my day here in Marineland. I just wanted to give up a sort of summary of my impressions of Star Voyager, as I don't think I really covered it that well. What a great ride. Definitely a little out of place as far as like the theming and everything, which definitely could do with some work, but one of the best thrill rides in Canada. And one of the best parts about this ride is the actual setting that it's on. It's quite long, quite intense, but I definitely enjoy the top section where it actually stops you up top and then rotates you around to get a good view of the park and the surrounding area, which is really a fantastic little feature. And you get awesome views of Dragon Mountain up there too. So definitely worth it just for that. I'm gonna leave you with some shots of it in action as I didn't capture earlier. And then we're about to wrap up our day here at Marineland. no better place than the summit of Sky Screamer Mountain or Hill, or the second mountain, man-made mountain of Marineland, to sum up the day here in the sweltering sun, as close as we can get to it. Am I overstating the point that it was hot today? Yes, I definitely am. But it was hot. It was always hot, or it always is hot, it seems, whenever I come to visit this park. But that all in consideration, the day. What a great day it has been. I'd have to say this might be the best day I've had at Marineland, probably ever. In fact, this was the best day I've had at Marineland. Crowds have been on great behavior today. I've been to a lot of parks. I've been to a lot of parks this year. And yeah, usually this park has some misbehaving clientele sometimes. Not today. Today was a refreshing change. Who knows what the future of this park is? It definitely seems like it needs an injection of something in order to bring it to the next level of, say, a theme park. That's for sure. Where that's going to come from, I'm not entirely sure either. Whether or not it does have a long-term future is another thing that's up for debate amongst various people that like to debate over these things. But I will say that it was a busy-ish day today for a Tuesday in the summer. I would say it's probably one of the busier days I've seen the park. I would say that the crowd level has been pretty consistent over the past couple of years of, say, the pandemic, etc. So a lot of what people are saying online about the fact that this park is going to be closing very soon, I don't get that indication, especially considering the condition of some of the rides here, because they definitely seem like they want to get everything up and running, and for the most part everything has been up and running, which has been very refreshing to see. I got on Wave Swinger at the end there, so it definitely has had some staggered start times for some of the rides. You'll see this is the latest I've been to this park, so I've never really been here when it's like this empty. And I do have to finish up a little bit of a walkthrough vlog here. So I'm going to wrap things up here. Definitely enjoyed my stay. Great new addition here, Star Voyager, which is definitely worth checking out. I did get a season's pass yet again, so I might be coming back for another visit based on this experience today. I definitely think I will. I will not lie that having found out that Dragon Mountain had opened, that had it not been open, I would not have come back for a visit this year, but it is. So you get that 1-2 punch of Magic now open, which has been fantastic, Star Voyager, which is fantastic, and Dragon Mountain, which is one of the most notorious, storied, and really fantastic coasters in Canada. So yeah, if you are in the interest of coming to a place like this, I definitely think you should while you can enjoy it, because it is still pretty much a full day with all the rides that are being offered. And you don't have to take in the shows like I didn't today and still get 4 to 5 hours of solid entertainment. That's without lines. So yeah, if you want that lack of stress, a vast open space to enjoy yourself, no music, no corporate leanings, no Starbucks, well, it's Marineland. I'm definitely hoping there is a future for this park in some form, in a theme park sense. There are rumors that it has been sold. I haven't heard anything from the staff here today. I think the staff are just generally very open with information if you want it, because you know, with some of the rides that were closed, they just come by and they're like, that ride's broken. So yeah, they're definitely very open. But I haven't asked any pending questions on that. If I find anything out on the way out, maybe in the next update I'll give you that information. But for now, thanks for watching, guys.